Let's bring in our ABC News political contributors now. Former Republican Congressman Tom Graves of Georgia, former Democratic Congressman Joe Crowley joining me live. Good afternoon to you both, gentlemen. Tom, the committee could vote on referrals for the sitting congressmen who defied their subpoenas, possibly to the House Ethics Committee. How significant is that, and what do you expect to see there?
Well, I don't know that it's really all that significant. I mean, when you look back over the work the committee's done over the last, almost 2 years, I guess, year and a half, what does it all mean? What is it coming to as an end? It's like they're just trying to wrap up and to do something that can, is really going to lead to nowhere. Unfortunately, the committee was created with some political pretense, and it shouldn't have been done that way. And so, as we look to the end, what should they have come up with? What should their results have been? For me, it is, how do you prevent this kind of action from occurring again? How do you prevent a January 6th type event from occurring again? And I don't think they've arrived at that conclusion. Instead, they've just arrived at how do we point out how Donald Trump may or may not have been involved?
Now, Joe, the committee is set to release a summary of its final report. What will you be watching for?
Well, I think, first of all, how you prevent this from happening again is to make sure that someone like Donald Trump is never elected president of the United States again. Someone who, a criminal referral to Justice Department for insurrection against his own government. What I'm looking for, though, here is, I think, Tom touched on it a bit. These referrals that will come out. These are not just House members. These are attorneys that work for the president, some of whom will be, I think, charged potentially criminally here as well, at least referred for that, but also the bars of states across this country are going to be reviewing their licenses to practice law before those bars. So I think there are multiple ways in which people will be punished for the insurrection itself. We see already dozens and dozens of people who are on trial or already have been convicted of insurrection even. So this was not an insignificant event. This was a monumental event in the history of our country. And I think this particular bipartisan commission is treating it just that way.
Tom, the committee has let Republican White House officials and Trump allies speak for themselves in these hearings, playing clips of damning testimony from people like former Attorney General Bill Barr. But Republicans in Congress have largely defended former President Trump in this investigation. So how do you see the party reacting to these potential criminal referrals?
Well, as for the referrals, I don't think the DOJ needs a committee from the House of Representatives to make a referral for them to do an investigation. If there is reason to investigate, I assume they will do that. The committee could have been more effective had it been a bipartisan committee of members from the House and the Senate that were working together to get to the root cause and the core of what did occur on January 6th and how can you better prepare for something that may happen like that in the future on any day. Any day, forget January 6th, but there were vulnerabilities that day. There was lack of communication that day. What are all those things to prevent it from in the future? But how will Republicans respond? I mean, they're going to get to the end of this week. The new Congress starts in a couple of weeks. It all resets. Whoever is referred to the Ethics Committee, it's just going to, I guess, dissolve at the end of this congressional year. So not much is going to happen. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of taxpayer money, a lot of work, a lot of resources put towards this. And yet the result is just going to be something the DOJ could have already done.
Joe, how significant an impact has the committee's investigation had on the political landscape, in your view?
Well, I think it certainly had an impact on this year's elections. I think not for everyone, but for many who are concerned about the stability of our democracy. I think what Tom had making reference to in terms of the bicameral, bipartisan approach to this, that was initially wanted by people who are involved in this. When Kevin McCarthy proposed putting two foxes in charge of the hen house, that just was not acceptable. Two individuals in Congress who really refused even to cooperate with this committee. To put them on the committee itself was a non-starter. This was a significant event, as was, Pearl Harbor, as was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. These are things that are monumental, and certainly the attack upon the Congress itself is a day that will go down in infamy. 1/6 is one of those days. Dates will add to that list, and it's unfortunate there wasn't more bipartisanship really officially done in terms of the application of Republican members from their leadership. But this was no doubt a bipartisan commission. And in fact, members of this committee lost their seats because they took these brave acts.
Former Congressman Joe Crowley, Tom Graves, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.